We have senior safety Dallin Levitt. Dallin's going to recap camp, preview Wisconsin, and then we'll take some questions.
In regards to the defense in fall camp, I think that we were consistent throughout majority of camp. Obviously, there's ebbs and flows, and people get dinged up, and people need to step up. But I think that as a whole, we did a really good job causing turnovers, making plays on the ball when it's in the air. And, you know, one of our emphasis has been attempts at the ball, stripping at the ball, and eventually, you know, it's going to come out. If we have, our goal was to have 30 a day, and I think we did a really good job of that for the most part. And I think it'll show up come game time. In regards to Wisconsin's offense, I mean, they are exactly who we think that they are and who we know that they are. You know, obviously they haven't played a game this year, but just based off film last year, based off, you know, who Wisconsin is, they're going to run the ball, they're going to get behind fullbacks, they're going to run pulling guards and tackles, and they're going to try to big boy you up and down the field. And, you know, then on, you know, around the logo, they're going to take shots. So I think it's something that our defense is ready for, and I think that it'll be a great opportunity for us to, you know, show what we've been working on and show exactly who we are.
Did you feel the sense of urgency of the players a little bit in the offseason and the camp compared to even last year coming off 3-9 season down?
Yeah, I do. I feel like people really did have a different idea about what we wanted. You know, we didn't want to do the same thing twice. We didn't want to have another poor year. We want to get back to a bowl game, and we want to get to a Mountain West championship. And I do feel like that there was that urgency, that leadership. There were guys who, you know, I feel like did a good job stepping up and helped lead our team.
Wisconsin's tight end caught 47 passes a year ago. How big of a challenge does he present?
Yeah, I think he's a good player. I think it'll be a good opportunity for our guys to see a guy that is going to be, you know, maybe the best tight end that we cover all year. I think he's very similar to Dax Raymond, so I think it's been a great opportunity for myself and the other safeties specifically to be covering Dax all camp and to be seeing that size and that athleticism.
Early on against Wisconsin, what are you looking for that'll tell you that, hey, we're on the right track here?
Stopping the run. If we can get 3 and out, stopping the run, and cause turnovers early, I think that'll be a sure sign that we're doing exactly what we need to do. They're a team that, you know, they run the ball a whole ton, and if we can force them to pass, I think that's in our favor. And I think that if we are able to, you know, like I said, stop the run and get the ball out and we can get a lead early, I think that's what, you know, obviously be best for us.
How deep is the Aggies secondary, would you say, Dallin? It seemed like guys started to play a little different positions than maybe what we thought they might at the start and watching workouts and stuff. How deep is the spots back there?
Very. I mean, I think we have 5 or 6 guys who can play at corner that, you know, Coach Juice wouldn't be afraid or hesitate to put in a game, and I think it's the same thing at safety. I think we have a lot of guys who can play the dime and the nickel spot, and guys who can cover and do a lot of different things. I think we have a very versatile back end, and I think it'll be a really good year for us to be able to show that.
Who's a guy back there that maybe nobody anticipates might do something and that you think might eventually be a guy that we all say, wow, he can play, or maybe that hasn't played much now or playing a different position or whatever?
Aaron Wade is somebody who hasn't played much in the past, and I think is going to have a really big role this year, and a really big role for us. And he's done a lot of great things in camp, and you know, he's been a different guy on the field and in the film room. He's I think he's really ready to play, and I think it'll be a great showing for him. And then you have the same guys as last year, Gage Ferguson and John Cho Rockamore, that I think are, you know, they're great players, and they'll make a huge impact for us as well.
Wade seems to just be around the ball all the time. It just seems to have that knack.
Yeah, he's been making plays with the ball in the air, and it's exactly what we need him to do, and he's done a great job of that.
This emphasis about attempts at the ball, even more so than last year?
Much more. We I can't remember exactly where we graded out in regards to turnover ratio, but I think I know we were in the negatives last year, and you won't win many games like that. And I think that, the offense has done a great job of, taking care of the ball and securing it, but we've also done a great job of taking it away. I think in the scrimmages, we haven't had as many turnovers as we'd like. Kudos to the offense for doing a great job there, but in practice, I think we've done a really good job of creating habits and teaching us to make those type of plays and to force those turnovers.
You ever been to Wisconsin before?
Yeah, actually, my true freshman year, when I was at the school down south, we went down there, and
Okay.
it's a cool opportunity. Camp Randall's an awesome stadium, but it's 100 yards of turf that we get to play on.
Their students have some fun.
Yeah, they do have some fun. Yeah, they're pretty wild out there. That'll be fun to watch.
Anything else for Dallin?
Thanks, man.
So thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Okay, we have senior quarterback Kent Myers. Kent's going to recap camp, preview Wisconsin's defense, and then we'll take questions.
This camp, offensively, I think we did an amazing job with all our goals, a lot of explosive plays, and just really the new guys really having that role and coming in. Tarver's back. We had Jordan Nathan really step up and do an amazing job this camp, Jaron Colson Green, and also we have Dax back too. And like I said, our goal is to score a lot of points and be the fastest team on offense. And looking at Wisconsin, they have some big guys up front, and with our tempo, I think we'll have the advantage of that. But other than that, I think, man on the outside, taking a lot of shots on them. Our guys are going to have to make amazing catches. I'm going to have to make some tight throws, but that's what we like to do, and that's what we're going to do.
Asked Dallin about camp being different, a different feeling. For you, you've played so much all these years, and you've anticipated maybe at least last year that you were going to play a lot. Has it been different, though, in a senior year with everything going on with the new offense and things like that? Has this been different for you, do you feel like? Or
Yeah, I feel like it's just more excitement during camp, I think, from all the other camps that I've been to here within my 4 years. This has been the most exciting. I think that juice that Coach Yost brings, that energy that he has, really, everybody's just excited to go out there and play. We get tired of playing the defense week in and week out, and, they're starting to know some of our plays. So we're excited to go against Wisconsin that, doesn't know our plays and try to see what we can do with this new offense.
and you want to be quick how you attack, and I think everybody thinks then that means fast with the pass, but you want to be a good running football team. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I think just with the pace, having the team, when we throw now screens, things like that, the defensive line is going back and forth so they don't have that penetration on us, and I think that's the biggest thing. But other than that, really just lining up, trying to line up and get them where they're not supposed to be. They're everywhere trying to get the signal, but we prepared like this for like 4 or 5 months now, so we're used to it. So it's not really making the play go faster, but lining up and seeing what they're giving us so we can run the right play.
Kent, last year Wisconsin was 9th nationally in turnover margin. You always want to be stingy with the ball, but how much more magnified is that with a team like Wisconsin?
Like you say, you got to be stingy with the ball. You have to take what the defense gives you. And then also with me, I got to put our offense in the best situation. I think I have more control in this offense. And when I see a play that's in and I don't like it, I can check out of it. And I think that's really going to help us with the turnover ratio. For them not to have a lot of turnovers is just, take what the defense is giving me and, like I say, put us in the best situation.
So you got a new center working with you this year. What does Quinn bring to the offensive line? What's your relationship like working with him?
I think he brings a lot of energy. If you're out there on the football field, he's the one that's yelling. He's the rah-rah guy, and it's contagious. People see that and they feed off of that, and I think that's a good thing. And Austin Stevens, he was a leader. He started for a couple years, but I think what Quinn brings to the table, like I said, he's more vocal and he's getting the guys ready, and the guys like that. And he came from BYU, and things like that. So I know he played fullback at BYU or something like that, then backup center, but he does have some experience. And I think as soon as he came in, he was determined to get that starting spot. And I think our relationship with that, he came in and he wants to win the Mountain West Championship, and I do too. So I think we clicked after that, and we, get extra snaps after practice, so we're perfect.
Some Big Ten schools like Wisconsin take pride in kind of wearing the other team down. How much substituting do you anticipate along the offense, particularly the line?
That's a good question. We haven't, or I haven't heard of anything with them doing that, but we have backups that have been doing a phenomenal job too. So we do have depth at that position. But we got to be the more physical team. We know they're going to put 6 to 7 people in the box. We know they're going to put a lot of pressure on us, but we're going to have to be able to hold our ground for 2 or 3 hours. But other than that, just really going out there, I think we're going to be we're going to be the best conditioned team because we've been training in this heat day in, day out, running, doing that in the off season with Coach Dave. So hopefully we're the more physical team so we don't have to substitute.
How much of the running game does include you running the ball? Is there a lot of quarterback runs in this Aggie offense?
I think it's not designed for me to run, as in I'm going out there and it's like a sweep or something like that, but I have my read keys, so if the guy does something and they don't pay attention to me, I'm able to pull it and, have a lot of yards on my feet. And I think that's the biggest thing that I'm going to have to do this year, to not only throw the ball and have the running back do that, I have to make a lot of plays with my feet because they do drop. A lot of teams do drop in coverage, and I think that we're more successful when I'm able to use my feet as well.
And have we developed more depth, do you think, in the wide receiver core than some might think we have?
Yeah, I think we have because, like I said, Tarver, he was our guy last year. We had Rashad. And, this year, like I said, we have Tarver. Jordan Nathan has really stepped up. Jaron Colston Green. Dax is back. Damian has done an amazing job this camp. And I can keep going. But I think people don't realize how much depth we have. And with the play, with Coach Yost's offense, it's an easy offense to pick up for all the new guys, for all the freshmen that have an opportunity to play. So we should be able to move fast.
What's interesting is the depth chart you see. You're listed at quarterback, obviously. Lawan at running back. It's kind of like you two guys, that Hawaii game, when you kind of really, both of you started, and now here you are, your senior years, and you're both still.
Yeah, we actually mentioned that the other day. He's like, hey, we came in together, we started together, and we're going to finish it out together. So, that means a lot. And, we've been waiting for this opportunity. We wanted to win a Mountain West Championship, and I think this is the year to go ahead and go out there for our senior year and go out there with a bang.
Is the bottom line philosophy running this offense to keep the defense off balance, or is there other consideration?
Yeah, I think just with the pace that we run, it's an advantage for us. But then also, like I said, we're going to call a play and try to see what is best for us. And, Coach Yost tries to say, he's making the best guess as what they're going to run, but also it's on me to put us in the best situation. So if I see something that I don't like that he doesn't see up there, I'm able to change it. And I think, like I said, that's in our advantage too.
But this doesn't, I assume it doesn't allow them much substitution.
Yeah, and I think that's the same thing too. They're not going to be able to sub people out because we're not subbing people out that much. So they're going to have to stay in. They're going to be tired, and that's what I think we have the advantage. We're just going to keep pushing and pushing and pushing, and then our defense is go. They're going to stop them. Then we're going to come back out and keep doing the same thing.
Anything else for Kent?
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Okay, we got head coach Matt Wells. Coach is going to preview Wisconsin, and then we'll take questions.
Okay. Everybody ready? Okay. Well, it's game week, and everybody's always excited about that. I think it's like I told the staff this morning, the time for good ideas is over, and you move on and you get ready to prepare, and it's always exciting because you get closer to game and you're ready to start playing somebody else, and that somebody else is really good, and so it gets your attention. It has since January, and they're really good. The success of that program over the last several head coaches, multiple head coaches, is evident. they plug a lot of guys in, and they keep on playing, and they play at a high level. You know they got all Big Ten offensive linemen. You know that before you even look at the depth chart. And there's obviously 2 coming back, and really good players, and a tight end, and the fullback maybe makes the whole thing go for him. He's a really good player. Hornibrook, I think, is very accurate, runs that thing. Paul is, you can see, I think he's an extension of the head coach and the play caller, offense coordinator, and just very well versed. And, you've seen him on defense, and we've seen maybe a little bit more familiar with him defensively just because of the scheme when Dave Aranda started there, and obviously, him going there and Gary, and so there's a little bit of carryover there, even though there's a new defensive coordinator. But tough, hard-nosed guys up front, multiple scheme, and big, strong defensive linemen and linebackers with length. And they're very, very sound in their schemes, and a lot of guys back off a defense that's top 15 nationally last year in almost every defensive category. So tremendous atmosphere and the place that they play. So it'll be a major test for our guys, and one that we're looking forward to getting into. And so with that, I'll go ahead and open it up for some questions.
So you just said that it's still kind of like Dave Aranda's, and that's still kind of here. I mean, is that similar then, both teams?
There's a lot more similarities than there are differences, Al, just in terms of the scheme on defense. I think they've, it looks like maybe they've simplified it a little bit. There's not as, and Dave has simplified too over the years. I'm not getting into LSU's defense or anything like that, but you just the base in the structure of it. There's a lot of similarities.
Last year you started with the FCS opponent at home and then went on the road to a big name, team. This year it's the opposite. You're starting with that. Is there a way you'd rather do it? Does it make it easier to do it one way or the other? Or is it just
No, my rathers ended a long time ago. The schedules are set. I mean, this thing. I mean, Gary and Scott did this game a long time ago, so it was already set. It's not like you sometimes move puzzle pieces around. So you play it as it lies, and it's going to be a tremendous challenge right out of the gate. And whether it's game 1 or it's game 2, it doesn't matter when you're playing Wisconsin. Wisconsin's Wisconsin, and it is what it is.
So was this part of Gary's buyout?
I have no idea. Great question. I have no idea. I am not the guy to answer that question. There's other guys.
Coach,
I don't know.
Oh, sorry, my bad. What teams have you played since you've been the head coach that maybe have a comparable level of physicality to a Wisconsin?
Probably 03 SC, last year's SC team. I would say the 15 Utah team, 13 and 15 Utah teams. They were very, very physical.
What are you looking for early in this ball game that might tell you that, hey, we can stick with these guys?
I think the biggest thing is they will make a mistake at some point. Will Utah State be able to capitalize on it quickly? Will we, put points on the board? I can't predict the situation, but, are we going to be able to capitalize on a mistake by them if they make one early? And if we do, then I think it'll be a good sign.
Clearly, Coach, this game's going to come down to how well you hang with them in the trenches. Is it going to take any special scheming, or do you feel you have the manpower and depth to match up with them?
Well, I think our scheme on offense and defense is different than maybe what they've seen a lot, and it's different than a lot of the Big Ten. So they're a very physical bunch on the O-line and the D-line, the front seven on both sides of the ball. We're going to have to match that. We're going to have to be very physical. We're going to have to play with relentless pursuit on defense. And, put hats to the ball. I mean, there's no question about that. And at some point, you got to stop the run. And that's the first thing that we better do on defense.
Have you had more shakeups during camp than you thought you might have personnel-wise?
I really didn't have any preconceived ideas that there would be a certain amount of shakeups. You know, we had competition in every spot. We tried to make it as competitive as we could. You do that, first of all, by going out and signing a good class, and I've said that, and I haven't hid that, excuse me. I think this is a talented recruiting class, JC kids, transfers, and high school kids, and it's been the most competitive camp, I think, since we've been here. And there's been a lot of positions, and you know, you see a lot of new names, and the guys that, you know, have been veterans and that retained their starting spots or their roles earned it, and they had to earn it. But very competitive. And, I mean, that was evident at the end of last year that we had needed to go out and upgrade our roster and our locker room, and I think we absolutely did that.
Is Mo Wasike more an outside guy now than a nose guard?
He's dual trained. Mo will play nose guard and D end.
So you can put both there. And then you figure, would you play a lot of the guys at linebacker? I know you always do it with defensive line.
Mm-hmm.
Will you do that some at linebacker with the guys that you're listing at first and second, do you think, in this game, or what?
Yeah, I mean, I think those twos will play at some point. What exactly that rotation is, I'm not going to say, but yeah, we'll play those guys. It's early in the year. We're going to have to play, and we got enough new guys. We need to see them play under the lights. And these first few weeks of the season, I think you'll see multiple linebackers in the game at inside and outside. You know, Suley and Chase will take the first reps. They'll be the starters, and they'll play more. But I think early in the year, because of the newcomers, we need to see them play.
The game there in 12 was really special teams decided it. The punt return.
Yep.
And then that's not kicking a field goal.
That's right.
And so that really decided
That's right.
the football game in a lot of ways. But the punt return got it back into it. You have said that Dalton has improved.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and overall, how do you? I mean, without playing somebody, do you have an idea about your coverage and your guys at those positions?
You don't.
And things?
You don't. It's what every head coach, every special teams coordinator worries about week one is coverage units, kickoff coverage, punt coverage units. You always worry about that. You practice it as best you can in as many live situations as you can, but until you get on game day and the speed of the game, that I think that worries every head coach in the country going into game one. But you referenced the punt return for a touchdown in 2012. That wasn't on the punter. That was on the coverage unit. So I believe Aaron will have a really good year and have all the faith in the world in Aaron Dalton. But we've got to cover punts, we've got to cover kicks, and you've got to play with relentless effort and pursuit. And we always say too is when coaches flip on tape on Sundays, when they look at upcoming opponents, the way that you cover kicks and the way that you penetrate on field goal block and extra point, and the way those are the two things that I think tell a culture of the program, your kickoff unit and your field goal block unit. And that tells a lot to coaches about how they're coached, how that team is, and what that team's like. And so that's a big priority for us.
It looks like Wisconsin is a little more athletic at receiver than when we played them in 2012 too.
Honestly, in 2012, I don't remember much about their offense because I wouldn't.
Looking at it.
Well, yeah, and I had enough issues trying to look at their defense. But the wideouts are talented. The Peavy kid is really athletic. He also doubles as a punt returner, and the tight end 81 is a really good player. And I think he'll be up for some national awards at the end of the year. But those guys can stretch a defense, and you get lulled to sleep in the run game, and then there goes play action tight end right down the seam or a shot over the top to that kid. And so, yeah, I think you have to be worried about those weapons. I know they got a young tailback. They're pushing. I think the Pitt transfer will play very early. Those guys are good players, and so they're good at the skill position. Don't think this is just a program of O linemen or D linemen. They've got skill too.
and intercepted 22 passes last year. How pinpoint does Kent need to be in this game?
Oh yeah, I mean you got to be pinpoint in terms of your accuracy, but the timing with your receivers, the protection from the O-line, the anticipation by Kent, throwing guys before they're open and as they're breaking open, has got to be spot on. They're ball hawks in the secondary last year and had a lot of takeaways.
So what does this mean again? Time for good ideas is over?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, you're 4 days away, you know, and we've been looking at them all spring and all summer and throughout, you know, even the last 8 days, and so that's just something somebody texted me this morning.
You don't want to throw out your game plan like the Thursday and start.
No,
over again.
no, yeah.
Anything else for Coach?
Good.
I'll take that. Thanks.
Okay, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Coach.
Yep, no problem.